I think you all know before boa hunting. There's a must-do. Only by doing these actions. It's like the python was mesmerized. I came running to you, lying on the floor waiting for your favor. After a new day, every python hunter out here, all together again. I don't know why they did it. Always running together. Everyone stay in your seats. Troy told one. Very surprising news. Dusty's friend was the one who found out. There are many pythons in the area of Badwater Lake, but the locals like to call this place the gutter. Looks like the water there smells bad. After Troy emptied himself, Dusty took up the conversation again. It's just that he's here to set up a mission. Looks like it's getting a little too smelly in there. I can't believe he went to help without saying it. Instead, let these outsiders to this very scary place. Dusty was back there enjoying the results. He wanted to maximize the results. Split the team into 3. Seal up the gutter, respectively from the prairie, canal, and swamp path. To the pythons in that area, life is cut off. After more than an hour, Troy and Pickle found Mike to borrow the car, used to navigate the prairie. Well, I don't know if he's trying to advertise to his friends. I always get some weird props, and it doesn't do much good. I feel like this time might be a little different. I borrowed a car with a track. You see it on tanks all the time. To drive on rough roads. 2 people after the departure. Troy seems to have lost his mind. I drove my car into a hole. You almost fell off it. Sure enough, people can't be too cheap. It seems like it would be fun. I just can't get his kind of car. Soon they walked across the prairie to the jungle near the gutter. It looks like the car is heavy. It's still very fast. And the jungle's so fast. I think I found them right now. I'm officially in work mode. My whole attitude about catching pythons has changed. Suddenly, the 2 became excited. Looks like we found a python. Kimchi immediately lunges and grabs the snake's tail. The snake snapped back and bit it. It just didn't work out. Oh, he's got a snake tail all of a sudden. How do you get unsolicited offers? Kimchi is also a source of power. Just grab one of them with your hands. I can watch the play in peace. Troy takes care of the snake that just walked in. This little snake is a gift. Just lay there and waited to be caught. Why do I feel like these snakes are brothers? Not only do they look alike, they have the same build. Pity the 2 hunters. I don't care if they're brothers. They still have to take it away and sell it. The family is still neat and tidy. They turned around and started looking for their relatives. Then let's take another look. Real brothers Zach and Aaron. They're on the canal now. Enter the gutter from here as planned. He's more responsible than Troy. On the road, right there watching the river. It just didn't work out so well. They're all at the landing site. There was no sign of a python. It seems that these 2 unlucky attributes. It's getting stronger. But what are those bags in their hands? Kalen and Bruce at this time. And they're following the plan. They have a lot of spirit. On this bumpy road. And I can look around. Suddenly, Bruce started yelling to stop the car, ran out of the car, and ran after him. They were all over the place. There was no sign of the python. They just disappeared right in front of them. And that makes them weird, but also let them know this. There are quite a few pythons out there. It made them both very excited. You know, every snake is money. If we catch enough of them, then you can take tomorrow off. Soon they arrived at their destination. Quickly got out of the car. Get ready to look for those Lachiao. Dusty's house on the other side. It was the arrival of Mike. Don't look at him bringing a python. To bring good news to Dusty. As the video plays on the phone, Dusty's got a blank look on his face. It's a simple python hunt. Suddenly the man started fiddling with his hands. After Mike's explanation, the reason this guy did it, it's because of a lot of my ticks. This thing doesn't hurt when it bites, but he's got a lot of virus in him. Can lead to Lyme disease. Had some serious physical problems. But don't worry about dying. It just makes you feel bad and makes you wish you were dead. After thinking about these questions, Dusty, it was a chill. Worried about those hunting buddies out there. Let's take another look at the gutter. All the hunters reached their destination. Zach and Aaron are flying their drones too. Help other teams hunt. Of course, to ensure that there is no problem in communication. Everyone first to the intercom to adjust. Everybody after they make sure there's no problem. Start directing the crowd to where the gutter is. On the way, Troy made a discovery. There are signs of python movement on the ground. Zach quickly found the target. I gave Troy the location right away. Kalen and Bruce, at this time, follow what's in the sky. Came to a clearing. According to Aaron, there's a python in here. After the two came here, successful sighting of the python. Quickly rushed up. It's just what happened before I got here. The python had once again disappeared. This made the two men very confused. So I found Zach again. Let them show the way. Let's look at Troy and Kimchi again. The two men then came to a place. A puddle that stinks. It looks and feels pretty good, but that's just a feeling. Not to mention it's bubbling in here. There's obviously something rotten in the water. It's not methane, is it? If I smoke in here, I don't know what the consequences will be. Even though the water here is bad for people. But for some creatures, it's like a cat with catnip. That attraction would be fatal. They turned their heads and took a few steps forward. Troy found the python, and it's heading in the same direction as the puddle. Looks like this thing is sick. Alas, they seem to have lost the python. How did these guys lose the snake? Feel their technique. Not as good as a white guy like me. At least I'll keep an eye on the python, instead of being stuck here in anger. Kimchi was suddenly startled. Turns out to be a python under your feet. Quickly overhand to catch it. I don't know what kind of luck these two people have. I turn around and meet a snake again. And not very aggressive. Just lay on the ground and watch. Show them all the shame. I mean, you're a mom with kids. Why is the python staring at you like that? So you can imagine what happened to this snake. Can only be put in a sack by two people. And look at Bruce and Kalen. The two are still being mentored by Zach. Looks like they haven't reached their destination yet. So now the speed they're going. Slower than a grandma crossing the street. Suddenly Aaron spotted a python and determined its location. They quickly ran after him. Because Zach is flying the drone, this arrest can only be made by Aaron alone. Things were going so well. But Aaron lost his python too. Zach was freaking out on the side. They're starting to pick up the drones. Aaron came back just then. It's keeping Zach a little busy. After all, we just got the drone back. Now we have to find Bruce again. And these two realized there was nothing up there. It's also impressive. Good thing Zach got it back. Otherwise, they're just hanging out here. See if you can find a destination. After Zach gave the two more directions and turned the drone back. Looks like they're not that far from their destination. There's no need for drones at all. Sure enough, he took only a few steps forward. I see a pool full of green water. It's really healthy no matter how many times you watch it. I don't know what Kalen's whispering about. The mouth was open and closed. With the two teams at their destination, Zach also started landing the drone. Ready to start your own hunt. Back to Bruce. The two were in the haystack. A sleeping python was found. Quickly went up to give him a. It's really work time. How can you be lazy and sleep? Get up and start fighting for the safety of life and the future. Effort in these two tall humans. Making big bets on the future. Well, that's really fast. Kalen got him when he put up the bet. This snake is a real dish. Can't even wrap a man's leg around it. Like this anaconda with no merit. Just two people in a sack, looking at the forest for so long. Let's go into the city now. After all, Dusty is here right now, starting his own new side business. A pizza place with a long name. The reason he set up shop here, because it was his dream. Well, you have a lot of dreams. I used to talk about being a scientist and an environmental rescuer. And now there's another one. Just then someone came to his window. Quickly went forward to record the menu. It's just this guy doesn't want to spend it. I traded it for a python. After all, that's how Dusty marked it. This made him very surprised. I didn't expect my first order. Some people have traded them for pythons. But this thing looks like it's freezing. I feel like I could roll it and sell it as a popsicle. Two people after confirming the menu. Dusty was a little surprised. This guy's a bit of a curiosity. I want a pizza made of python meat. I'm kind of optimistic about this thing, though. Let's go back to the gutter. Zach and Aaron are walking. Yeah, well, there's no other transportation right now. Sounds like they'd rather do that. After all, that's where you can find a python in hiding. While they stopped in front of a dead tree. Zach put gloves on himself. According to the description, this is a good place for pythons to nest. They seem to have a lot of experience. All of a sudden, Zach jumped up and keep Aaron away from her. Looks like he got bitten by a tick. Turns out Mike's video was real. That's what Zach is getting right now. After a slap from him and the immigrants who will be in them, they drove them all down. After solving this problem, the two also arrived at their destination, a puddle all green. After determining the location, he left and started looking for the python. The same two people leave. I found a snake as Aaron grabbed it and pulled it out into the open. There's just something weird about the snake. I feel like I've been drinking. The movement is crooked. The attacks are even weaker. Zach got the hang of it, and he caught it in his hands. That's a pretty easy snake to catch. Feels like I can do it, and not like them. At the same time, Dusty, in his own restaurant, they also started making special pizzas. There's nothing to see in him. Just like you do at home, just change the ingredients. Of course. What exactly? I don't know, because it's their secret recipe. After the pizza is made, I got it in front of my brother. After tasting, I found it was not bad. Looks like this python pizza should be good. Dusty just found out again what a python does. And look at Troy and the pickle. That's how they found Zach. Asked for guidance. Try two people holding the snake. Came to a new puddle. And it's bringing the drone back. Looks like they were just there. There are no more pythons. After two men probed around, it didn't take long to find the target. Quickly went forward to surround it and pick up his tail. The snake seems a little timid. I peed on my pickle hand. Makes people sick to death. Good thing the snake did it once. Otherwise, this hand is definitely going to come loose. Troy is seeing the python. After not paying attention to himself, I grabbed him with a quick lunge. In this way, two people harvested a python. Although the snake is very timid, but something this size, that's going to fetch a good price. To make sure we get the money, two people quickly put it into the sack. As darkness falls again, Zach and Aaron are on their way back, trying to catch a snake first. After all, I was on the back of the tick. That was quite a struggle for the two of them. Just like this. Suddenly, Aaron found himself under his feet. It's like a boa constrictor. When he pulled the grass away, Zach quickly grabbed the tail of the snake and pulled it up high. Looks like Aaron's eyes. It still works well in this case. Not only is it accurate to find the python, they even caught the head of the snake. After the python was placed in a sack, both of them are done for the day. Zach even wanted to get back to his body right away. Did you get bitten by a tick? On their east side, Bruce and Kaylin are ready to finish. But while the two of them are moving forward, suddenly came across a roadblock. Gave both of them a fright. This thing blends in perfectly with the surrounding area. If it wasn't for the flashlight, there's no way to find this thing. Except the crocodile doesn't seem to be paying any attention. But it's always moving around. That's a scary one. They were so frightened that they quickly went around. Good thing the crocodile didn't follow and made it back to the car. With a new day, the hunters were together again. Really, they're not okay. And we got together. Why is Troy cooking again? Really, every time I watch him cook. Oh, that's a pain in the ass. It really doesn't look good, does it? Well, that's all for this program. Give it a thumbs up, and let's look forward to the next episode. Anyone who likes to catch snakes should know you can replace your eyes if they don't work. Or just like this guy, take a little fish, grab it like a giant boa constrictor. You know, you're a swamp hunter, not some fishing guy down by the river. After a new day, Troy and Pickle started looking for friends again, ready to borrow someone else's equipment. They're both real. Why do you always borrow things from Mike? Looks like he's willing to. But the Trojans didn't borrow a machine. It's these puppies in front of you. These creatures are being trained, can help hunters catch pythons. For that they need to borrow his Otto. But Mike was a little reluctant. After all, the dog was his wife's favorite. If Otto was hurt a little bit, then he'll never get home again. Just kidding, of course. He's still willing to lend Otto. After getting together, he immediately took it to the car and began to head for the swamp. Experience an hour of time. Two people and a dog also arrived at the destination. Otto is happy too. When we got to land, we started playing. He was gone in front of them. put Troy on the edge of his seat. This is something you just borrowed. Just got here and it's gone. And this friend Mike, there may be no friendship anymore. 40 miles south a few hours ago, Kalen and Bruce got a little help too. It's Dave in a hat. It's like this guy's a little like Dave in Plants vs. Zombies. The whole thing is kind of the same. All kidding aside, back to the main text. Several people are going to the hunting site today. It's a plane crash site, but it's a long way from now. The plane was in '96, crashed into the depths of this swamp. The people up there are pretty much gone. This makes the locals think it's haunted. So few people come here. Boa constrictors have thrived as a result. Can provide them with a lot of knife music. Had it not been for the route, I want to go hunting here. Make yourself a lot of money. As Dave pulls the hovercraft to a halt, the crowd immediately went to the shore. They even set goals for themselves on the road. That's 4 pythons. Not how they target now. It's getting lower and lower. Must have caught the python. Are they going extinct? After some time on the shore, Dave suddenly screams python. Quickly spread the grass around. 2 others rushed in too. After the snake tail was caught, quickly surrounded the python. Only the snake doesn't seem to be responding. After seeing this, Kalen grabbed him right away. Honestly, this snake is sick in the head. Why are you being so stupid? All the capture battles I wanted to see are gone. Really, put it in the sack. Look no further than these lucky people. Look at our brother on the other side of the swamp. The 2 men's hunting ground today. The undeveloped area is selected. That's why no one came. It's because there were no pythons. Now there is no doubt. If there's a python, that would be a huge payoff. After all, it was underwater all the time, making it unsuitable for most living things. But now Zach's instincts tell him there are a lot of pythons. It's a good place for snakes now, after all. After determining the stopping point, Aaron quickly lowered the anchor and put a kayak down. Looks like these 2 are having a hard time. Not so close. Why do you keep the boat here? Why do you need to kayak? I don't know why we're doing this. When the sun gets hot, they haven't started the hunt yet. Instead, they came to a stream. Resume rowing. It's a waste of time. Let's look at Dusty again. Welcome an old friend, Jimbo, with their own new harvest. Look at this giant boa constrictor. There's a lot of eggs in there. A snake this big showed up next to his house. Not in the Everglades. Looks like the python problem isn't solved yet. Dusty's going to be dissecting next. We're not going to look at that. In the first couple of episodes anyway. There's no need to keep looking at this. In the belly of this python, there are more than 20 eggs. That's all they said. At the same time, Troy and Kimchi, still looking for Otto. Fortunately, the dog has been trained, not too far from them. It's just this intense exercise. Let the 2 of you choose to stop and rest. Otto smelled something, you know. I just ran right up to them. Well, it's not meat. Why are you still so interested? Even Troy, hey, I just ate it. The tail is still wagging. The dog ate and ran away. No, it's like it found something. Troy, after testing the hole, found nothing in here. Suddenly, Otto made another discovery. Troy quickly pounced on him, grabbed the python by the tail. Looks like Otto was right. The reason that hole is empty, because the python is here. It's not the snake that's sick. Peeing there all the time. This is what gave Troy the gas. I just grabbed it with my hands. The snake looks pretty. Should bring a lot of knife fun for both of them. I suddenly realized that the snake had some ideas. Why are you moving your tail there? But it didn't do anything. Look at Zach and Aaron up north. The 2 men also set aside the slow rowing. It all took hours. This is the destination of the trip. It really feels like they're both really smart, willing to spend so much time to this faraway place. Suddenly, Zach spotted the python, quickly grabbed the snake tail, and called his partner. Looks like Zach has a taste for food. I can't handle this on my own. Aaron had to get his hands on it to catch it. After it was determined that the python had been caught, Zach also let go of his hand, pulled the snake out completely. They were very excited. They just seemed to have forgotten their sacks. It's just funny. And on the other side in the swamp, Kalen, Bruce, and Dave. No sign of the python yet. I don't know how many people spent so much time to the place where the plane crashed. Why can't we find the python? You know, there are a lot of snakes here. Suddenly, Bruce made a discovery. Kalen jumped down quickly and chased after the snake. When a few people came to the discovery site, and I can't find the python. Yeah? This is very strange. Even under this grass, there's nothing there. It feels like the snake may have dived into the water. That's why these guys can't be found. They soon thought of that possibility too. It was very painful. I finally found a snake here. It's simply gone, 20 miles to the east. Troy got into a fight with Otto too. Not like in the beginning. It never worked out. Probably missed a lot of snakes in the middle. But now I can fuck Otto. It could be soon. Catch those pythons. Suddenly, Otto cried. Two people quickly chased up and identified it as a python. It's just how hard is it to grab pickles? It's making Otto a little anxious. Put aside that constant bluster, urging them both to speed up. Looks like Troy's got the better technique. The python was caught in one fell swoop, and even pull it out, but this snake is a little more aggressive, so Troy can't hold on to the tail. Kimchi was watching the play instead. What just flew by? Oh my god, she's so good. One of them just caught the python without paying attention. The existence of such a large piece. You can also see Otto. There is technology. How else would you find a snake this big? Let's look at Zach and Aaron again. The two of them have been here for hours. All I got was a python. This makes them very nervous. After all, it took them hours to get here. It's time to hunt. Has become very tense. We have to speed it up. Aaron suddenly spotted the python. They quickly ran after him, but it was blocked on the road. The grass here is too high. I can't even see where I'm standing. It didn't just slow them down and made the python disappear from your face. Put two people in a hurry. Now there is nothing to be done. I had to turn around and look for other pythons. Let's look at the crash site again. A few people on the road. Suddenly, I saw the flag of my own country. It's making Bruce weird. Why is this here? When Dave heard that, he stopped the boat on the shore. He led them to the flag, about how it came to be. I thought a plane crashed here. More than 100 people lost their lives. That's where they put the flag. But obviously here, no one's been here for a long time. The grass here is so tall. Even when I was looking for the python, you need to pull the grass from under your feet. Bruce is smart too. I went to the thickest place first. Dave's got a lot of experience. Keep bending over and looking at the ground. It wasn't long before the python was spotted. Bruce got bitten right after he arrived. Give him a fright. Fortunately, Dave has caught the snake tail, so the python can only be caught, even though the snake was fierce at first. But they were caught very quickly, with the python in the sack. The three are making money too. Settled the money for dinner tonight. Zach and Aaron at this point. My time here on the hunt is almost over, but they didn't turn their heads. After all, there are confirmed pythons here. But how can these two fuckers find a snake? Just wandering around like chickens with their heads cut off. Suddenly, Aaron spotted the python, quickly came forward to surround it, and tried to grab the snake's tail. The snake seems to have a problem too. Why don't you care about Aaron behind you? I just keep staring at Zach right there. But the snake turned its head toward Aaron. Zach just grabbed it. Get this snake in your hands. Look at this huge thing. To the relief of both men, with the python in the sack, and took it on board to return. The other side of the plane crashed. Several people also managed to catch two snakes. But now they have the rest of the time. Still not much. The sun is almost down now. Then they suddenly found something. Dave hurried off. Put your hand forward briefly. Successfully caught a fish. Wow. It's not a python. It's an alligator gar. The largest freshwater fish in North America. I didn't catch a snake here though. A few people still choose to stay here. Go on a python hunt. After a few steps, he chose to split up to increase the chances of finding a python. After half an hour of searching, Bruce found the python too. A few people quickly surrounded it. Dave stepped forward and grabbed the snake tail. Quickly pulled it out of the haystack. Bruce just grabbed him with his hands. Not like that. Catch the snake now. Things are changing so fast. It was so hard the other day. Is not in the time of these days. I did in human training. Let's look at Dusty. Now Zach and Aaron have a snake with them. Came here for an autopsy. Again, we're not looking at that. That's when Troy brought the python, waiting for Dusty's autopsy. A few people after saying hello, I watched Dusty work. The snake was soon taken care of. Found 27 eggs in his stomach. A couple of people after they get the stuff done, come together again, talk, eat, and toast. Oh, and no underage drinking. I don't know if they are. They party whenever they get something. You really have money and a life. Well, that's all for this program. Give it a thumbs up, and let's look forward to the next episode.